Hello, students, and welcome to poem number 3, Macavity the Mystery Cat, written by T.S. Eliot. Do you have a pet cat? Have you ever noticed anything mysterious about it? It is not easy to say whether every cat is a mystery, but Macavity is one for sure. What is it that makes him a perfect mystery cat? We will read the poem and find out. But before we do that, we will find out more about the poet. Thomas Stearns Eliot. The poet was born on 26 September 1888. He was an essayist, a critic, a playwright, and one of the well known poets of the 20th century. Some of his famous poems are The Waste Land, Love Song of J. Alfred Prufrock, Journey of the Magi, Naming of Cats, etc. He won the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1948. Now, children, we'll begin with the reading of the poem Macavity the Mystery Cat by T.S. Eliot. Macavity is a mystery cat. He's called the Hidden Paw, for he's the master criminal who can defy the law. He's the bafflement of Scotland Yard, the flying squad's despair. For when they reach the scene of crime, Macavity's not there. Macavity, Macavity, there's no one like Macavity. He's broken every human law. He breaks the law of gravity. His powers of levitation would make a fakir stare. And when you reach the scene of crime, Macavity is not there. You may seek him in the basement, you may look up in the air, but I tell you once and once again, Macavity is not there. Macavity is a ginger cat. He is very tall and thin. You would know him if you saw him, for his eyes are sunken in. His brow is deeply lined with thought. His head is highly domed. His coat is dusty from neglect. His whiskers are uncombed. He sways his head from side to side with movements like a snake. And when you think he's half asleep, he's always wide awake. Macavity, Macavity, there's no one like Macavity, for he is a fiend in feline shape, a monster of depravity. You may meet him in a by street, you may see him in the square, but when a crime's discovered, then Macavity is not there. So, children, you can, like you've heard the recitation of the poem, and what you will realize is that it's a very lyrical poem. It appeals to your ears a lot. Now, I will read verse by verse and then explain the poem. Macavity is a mystery cat. He's called the Hidden Paw, for he's the master criminal who can defy the law. He's the bafflement of Scotland Yard, the flying squad's despair. For when they reach the scene of crime, Macavity is not there. First of all, let us look at the new words. The first word that is here in this first stanza is defy. Defy means to disobey or to resist openly. Then the next word is bafflement means to be very confused or bewildered. Another synonym of that is bewildered. Then the next word is Scotland Yard. Now, Scotland Yard is the headquarters of the London police force. That means it is the headquarters. Then the next one is Flying Squad. Flying Squad is a group of police, men or soldiers who are ready to move into action very quickly when they are given orders. So in this first verse, we have seen defy, bafflement, Scotland Yard and flying squad. Now we will see the explanation line by line. T.S. Eliot describes a mysterious cat of extremely villainous characterization. That means he is like a villain. He says the cat is known by the name Hidden Paw. And why is that? Because he is a criminal mastermind. He disobeys or disregards the law. He is an enigmatic figure. That means no, he is a puzzle to even Scotland Yard because they are unable to figure him out. They are unable to understand him. So even the most specialized detective agencies of the world, like the Scotland Yard and the Flying Squad, are unable to tell what is going on in Macavity's mind. And these agencies have accepted their defeat by this clever cat, and that is the reason why he's said to be the bafflement of Scotland Yard. Because when they reach the scene of any crime, they find that Macavity is not there. Now we will go to the second verse. Macavity, Macavity. There's no one like Macavity. He's broken every human law. He breaks the law of gravity. His powers of levitation would make a fakir stare. And when you reach the scene of crime, Macavity is not there. You may seek him in the basement, you may look up in the air, but I tell you once and once again, Macavity is not there. Now, in the second stanza, the new word that is here is levitation. Now, the meaning of the word levitation is to float in the air without support. Like, in magic shows, they show you like there's a rope, there's a man playing a kind of a pungi, and that rope is going in the air, or somebody is sleeping and then suddenly they begin rising. That is said to be levitation, to be able to rise up in the air without any support. So in this verse, the poet says, when they reach the scene of crime, Macavity is not there. That shows Macavity is too clever to be caught. He is nowhere near. He commits a crime and then he disappears. The poet says that Macavity disobeys all human laws, and not only that, he has also broken the law of gravity. His levitation, that means his ability to rise up in the air, is so powerful that even a fakir would stare at him confused that how is Macavity able to do this? But when the crime spot is reached, then Macavity is not there. So the poet says that we may search for him in the basement, or we may look up in the air. That means you may look below. Basement is down under the, deep down inside the house, and you may look up in the air. That means you may look down, you may look up. But he says, I'll tell you once and once for all, Macavity is not there. That means there's no use trying to look for him because he is no longer there. Then the third verse. Macavity is a ginger cat. He's very tall and thin. You would know him if you saw him, for his eyes are sunken in. His brow is deeply lined with thought. His head is highly domed. Now, here in the third stanza, we have the word ginger. The meaning of the word ginger is a very cunning. He's a very cunning cat. So they're saying that the poet says he's a very cunning cat, he's very tall and thin, and all that helps him to, disappear very quickly. And they're saying if anyone had to see him, they would recognize him because he is unlike any other cat. His eyes are deeply sunken in. That means he does not get enough sleep. His brow is deeply lined with thought. That means he's constantly thinking, making up plans of what to do next. After completing one crime, he thinks of what can he do next. His head is highly domed like an egg. And then his coat is dusty from neglect. That means he is not concerned about his appearance. And his whiskers. Whiskers means the hair that you see, like facial hair on a cat. They are called whiskers. They are on both sides of the mouth. He sways his head from side to side with movements like a snake. And when you think he is half asleep, he is always wide awake. So here he says, the poet describes him as a ginger cat. He is both tall and thin. He can be recognized from his eyes, which are very sunken in. He has lines on his forehead, constantly being in thought. His coat is untidy because he has no time to spend on grooming himself, on taking care of himself. And his whiskers are also uncombed. Like, children daily when we have a bath, we normally comb our hair. But Macavity doesn't have time for all such things. He is always on the go, no, committing some crime or the other. So he has no time for his personal appearance to take care of it. And he moves like a snake, you will not notice a snake unless you actually see him, because snakes are supposed to be very quiet and silent creatures, and so Macavity is compared to a snake who comes in and goes, and nobody knows when he comes and when he goes, and people think that he is asleep, but that is just the impression that he gives. He is not asleep, but he is wide awake. Then we go to the last stanza, that is Macavity, Macavity. There's no one like Macavity. for he is a fiend in feline shape, a monster of depravity. You may meet him in a by street, you may see him in the square. But when a crime is discovered, then Macavity is not there. So here, children, there are three words, new words. The first one is fiend. Fiend means a devil. So he is like a shaitan. And then feline is whenever we talk of anything concerning a cat, that word feline is used. Yes. So and the next word is depravity. Depravity means moral corruption. Morally, that means his, what you say, values are very, very bad. He is not concerned about anything. So that is moral corruption. Then, in this last verse, we see that the poet says there is no one like Macavity. He is one of a kind. He is unique. He is like really like a devil. He is a devil in disguise of a cat. He is a monster of wickedness. And one may meet him in a by lane, in a by street, or in the square. That means you may meet him somewhere in a remote corner. You may meet him in the square, is where, a public square. But where it does not matter where you meet him. When the crime is discovered, then surely Macavity is not there. So here, the poet is trying to tell us that, he is personifying. Thomas Stearns Eliot is trying to personify an evil character and giving him, the what do you say? He's giving him the quality of a cat, saying that it's a cat. A cat cannot be as villainous as the poet calls him to be, but here he's giving him, giving him the role of a cat. And so we can see that Macavity is a unique and one of a kind cat. There's no one like Macavity. So for we will see uh, the rhyme scheme of the poem. So the rhyme scheme of the poem. The rhyme scheme of the poem. Let us go to the first stanza. For the we have to look at the last word. So in the first stanza, in the first line, the last word is paw, and then the second one is law. So you can see that both of them are rhyming. So we start with A, paw is A, and law is A. Then the next line, despair, that does not rhyme with paw and law, so it becomes B. But despair and there are rhyming words, and so they become, so you have A, B, B. Then the next stanza, then Macavity and gravity. So Macavity and gravity, again we begin with A, and Macavity, gravity. And stare and there do not rhyme with Macavity and gravity. So you have A, B, and B. And then air and there. So that rhymes again with stare, there. So A, B, B, and then again it is B and B. So there are four B's. So in this way, that is the rhyme scheme of the poem. Now, T.S. Eliot uses many literary techniques in order to make it very funny, and he gives human qualities to the cat. He calls him a monster, he calls him a fiend, and so that is, he's personifying, giving him all human qualities, saying that he breaks every human law, he breaks the law of gravity, all that. Then simile. A simile is a figure of speech in which two unlike objects are compared. And so in this third verse, we see that here he says, he sways his head. That means the cat sways his head from side to side with movements like a snake. So here what is the cat compared to? The cat is compared to a snake using the word like. So that is simile. Then personification. Here he says that he is giving him human qualities, like he is swaying from side to side. Then he doesn't comb his whiskers, and then, he is breaking every human law. Human beings many a times break the law. So he is giving him all human qualities. That is said to be personification. And right from the beginning of the poem, Macavity, see, at the beginning he says, Macavity, Macavity, there's no one. So this repetition of this word Macavity See, Macavity is not there. Macavity is not there. So all this is repetition. Then, and then there is also uh, his head is highly domed. Here, head, her, and her. That is alliteration. Then, tall and thin. This also is repetition of ter and ter. It is alliteration. So, then. So these are the uh, figures of speech used in this poem. Now for the question answers of this poem. Read the first stanza and think, is Macavity a cat really? And if not, who can Macavity be? Is Macavity a cat really? Do you really think that any cat can pull off crime? I don't think so, no? So, Macavity is not really a cat. He's just a fictional character created by Thomas Stearns Eliot. And if not, who can Macavity be? The poet is actually talking of a villain. He's talking of a criminal, but he's giving him qualities to be like that of a cat. So, he is not really an animal, but this is a criminal, a master criminal, somebody who, like, confuses Scotland Yard and the flying squad and so on. And a master criminal is one who can defy the law. Then Scotland Yard is baffled because when they reach the scene of crime, Macavity is not there. Then the third, complete the following dash, because Macavity moves much faster than them. So uh, why does he move? Because they are unable to catch him. So they are saying that no one can catch Macavity because he moves faster than them. A cat, I am sure, could walk on a cloud without coming through. Now, which law is Macavity breaking in the light of the comment above? So, here as we can see, children, we go back to the first verse, second verse. Here he says, not only the cat, Macavity has broken every human law, but he breaks the law of gravity. You've heard of the gravitational pull of the earth, right? So the gravitational pull, so here what they're talking about is, which law is he breaking? He's breaking the law of gravitational pull. And what does the law of gravity say? Well, the law of gravity says that the earth exerts a pull on everything. That means why do we not float around in space? Why are our feet on the ground? Because of the gravitational pull of the earth. And what law is he breaking? Macavity is breaking the law of gravity. Then read stanza 3 and then describe Macavity in 2 or 3 sentences of your own. First of all, read stanza 3, right? So we go back to stanza 3. Now here, Macavity is a ginger cat. He's very tall and thin. His eyebrows are deep with lines and his eyes are sunken in. His head is highly domed and that gives him a very devilish look, a shaitani look. Then his coat is very untidy because he neglects it and his whiskers are uncombed. He moves his head from side to side and his body movements are like that of a snake. Now, number 5, say whether true or false. For each of the following statements, Macavity is not an ordinary cat. Surely it's true because he's not an ordinary cat. No ordinary cat could baffle the Scotland Yard or the flying squad. Macavity cannot do what a fakir can easily do. That is false because he can do much more than what a fakir can easily do. Macavity has supernatural powers. Yes, he has powers of levitation. He breaks every other human law as well as natural physical law. The next one, Macavity is well dressed, smart, and bright. No, that one is false. Why is it false? Because we know that he neglects himself, he doesn't comb his whiskers, and so on. Then Macavity is a spy, a trickster, a criminal, all rolled into one. Yes, sure he is. It's as though he's spying and he knows exactly when the Scotland Yard or the flying squad is around, and then he disappears. So, having read the poem, try to guess whether the poet is fond of cats. If so, why does he call Macavity a fiend and a monster? Well, the poet really seems to be fond of cats, but cats can also be quite troublesome. So he is giving cats, like if you, cats which are pets are small cats, right? But the bigger ones in the jungle, like the lion, the tiger, the cheetah, the leopard, they all are very dangerous. So here, the poet T.S. Eliot is calling him that if really they had to be a cat like that, then he is a criminal, a monster. Then, has the poet used exaggeration for special effect? Surely. Find a few examples of it and read those lines aloud. Now, let us go back to the poem to see which lines are an exaggeration right from the beginning of the poem. So, first of all, Macavity is a mystery cat. He's the hidden paw. He's a master criminal. He's the bafflement of Scotland Yard, the flying squad's despair. Then there's no one like Macavity. He's one of a kind. He's broken every human law. He breaks the law of gravity. He has powers of levitation. So all these are great exaggeration. Do you think any cat could possibly be like that? No. If a cat runs, then anyone can chase and catch them, but not so Macavity. So they are saying here again, this is another exaggeration that he's like a devil. He's a fiend in feline shape, a monster of depravity. So all these are exaggerations that are used by the poet in the poem. So this was about the poem. Children, I hope you read this poem a few times and you will enjoy. And if you can try memorizing it, like every day try and memorize one verse of the poem so that in a week's time you will be able to learn. There are only 4 verses. So in 4 or 5 days you would be able to learn the whole poem by heart. Uh, because that will help you, like build your vocabulary. Also, you will be learning proper English, and it will help you in recitation of the poem. So read through the poem several times and then write all the question answers that are given there. Thank you and have a nice day.